Eating this matzo ball soup makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. It's the perfect food for a cold day. Hi, I'm Mike. Today I'll show you how to make matzo ball soup. Matzo ball soup is made from matzo meal, which is used to make the unleavened flatbread that we eat for Passover. The Torah explains that because the Jews left Egypt quickly, there wasn't time for their bread to rise, and therefore matzah serves as a reminder of their escape. This recipe is special to me because it came from my grandparents. My grandparents were very proud of the fact that their matzo balls were light and fluffy, rather than dense. There's a bit of controversy surrounding whether or not it's okay to use baking powder in matzo balls. For my grandparents, it was the secret ingredient for keeping the balls light and fluffy. Some people feel like it doesn't match the spirit of Passover because it's technically a leavening agent. However, it's mineral-based, not grain-based, and so it's not considered part of the food group known as chametz. It's prohibited on Passover. There are also a bunch of baking powder brands that are kosher for Passover. If you'd prefer to not use baking powder, you can absolutely substitute it with seltzer. There are countless ways to make matzo ball soup, and no one way is the right way. This is just what I remember from my own childhood. I saw my grandparents every weekend of my childhood, and my grandma was like a second mom to me. I had your average American Ashkenazi Jewish upbringing. My mom is Jewish, and she took my sister and me to temple when we were growing up. I had a bar mitzvah, and these days I can phonetically read Hebrew, but I truly don't know what most of the words mean anymore. I liked growing up in a Jewish household a lot. It was a little odd being the only practicing Jewish kid in my high school class, but as time has passed, I've gained more of an appreciation for Judaism. I really love being Jewish. It's given me a really beautiful community over the years. Freezing matzo balls doesn't affect their taste or texture at all. Especially if you're prepping a large number of matzo balls, you can absolutely freeze them ahead of time. My grandparents chose to freeze them before putting them into the soup at the end to make sure they would retain their dumpling shape in a warm liquid. They didn't want to risk the matzo balls disintegrating into a matzo stew. When I was a kid, for Passover, we would go over to my grandparents' house and they would host a big Seder with family and friends. Nowadays, one of my friends in Los Angeles usually hosts the Seder at their house, and out of the kindness of their heart, they invite me over to it. I love a lot of the Jewish holidays, but Passover might actually be my favorite one, just because it's tied to so many wonderful family memories. My favorite part of it was singing the 4 questions with my sister. Traditionally, it's always the youngest person at the table who recites the 4 questions, but my sister and I would share the duty because we like to duet together. The Seder plate and everything that goes on it looks lovely. There's a few foods for Passover that maybe are harder to capture on camera. Matzo ball soup might be a little gray and a little odd looking, but it's so delicious. Appearances can be deceiving, but maybe you'll look at this and you'll think it's absolutely delicious. Whether or not you're Jewish, if you're going to a Passover Seder, I hope you have a wonderful time and enjoy your matzo ball soup.
Oh, yes!